global IT outage crippling computer systems around the world.
A massive global technical outage.
Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike says it identified a critical problem in its software and is working to fix the issue.
With a widespread outage affecting many Microsoft users.
On July 19, 2024, a critical error in CrowdStrike's Falcon cybersecurity software caused millions of Windows computers worldwide to crash simultaneously. Within hours, the blue screen of death became a universal symbol of one of the most widespread technological disruptions in recent history. In this video, we will explore how CrowdStrike accidentally brought a significant portion of the world's computers to their knees. Let's find out. Our story begins on what seemed like an ordinary day. System administrators and IT professionals worldwide went about their usual routines, ensuring networks were secure and systems ran smoothly. Little did they know that a storm was brewing, one that would soon engulf computers across the globe in a sea of blue. The first signs of trouble emerged in Australia and New Zealand. As the workday began in this part of the world, reports of widespread computer issues started trickling in. Users were faced with an all-too-familiar sight, the blue screen of death, or BSOD as it's commonly known. But this wasn't just affecting a few unlucky individuals. No, this was happening on a massive scale. Across industries, companies found their operations grinding to a halt. Banks, airlines, supermarkets, media companies, no sector was spared. The Commonwealth Bank of Australia, the country's largest bank, reported that customers were unable to transfer money due to the service outage. Qantas, Australia's national airline, and Sydney Airport announced that planes were being delayed, though they managed to keep flights operational. As the sun rose over different parts of the world, the problem spread like wildfire. In the United Kingdom, Sky News found itself unable to broadcast. Trains were impacted, and boarding scanners at Edinburgh Airport in Scotland went offline. The parliamentary computer systems in New Zealand fell victim to the outage. Across the Pacific, as the United States woke up, the situation only worsened. American Airlines, Delta, and United Airlines reported that their systems were down, leading to grounded flights and stranded passengers. The Federal Aviation Administration had to step in, closely monitoring the situation and providing updates on their website. But it wasn't just transportation that was affected. Banks across the US started reporting issues. Chase, TD Bank, and Bank of America all saw spikes in outage reports. Retail giants like Walmart and Starbucks weren't spared either. Even emergency services felt the impact, with some 911 call centers in Alaska reporting issues. As panic began to set in, people turned to social media for answers. One user wrote, "Something super weird is happening right now. Just been called by several totally different media outlets in the last few minutes, all with the Windows machine suddenly BSODing. Anyone else seen this? Seems to be entering recovery mode." The culprit behind this global meltdown wasn't a malicious hacker or a devastating virus. It was an update from CrowdStrike, one of the world's leading cybersecurity companies. The very software designed to protect systems from threats had become the threat itself. CrowdStrike's Falcon sensor, a product designed to prevent cyber attacks, had received an update that was causing Windows hosts to crash spectacularly. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. A cybersecurity tool had inadvertently become the cause of one of the most widespread computer outages in recent history. As the situation unfolded, CrowdStrike's team scrambled to address the issue. At 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time, they released an alert acknowledging the problem. CrowdStrike is aware of reports of crashes on Windows hosts related to the Falcon sensor. Symptoms include experiencing a bug check or blue screen error related to the Falcon sensor. Our engineering teams are actively working to resolve this issue. Meanwhile, Microsoft, the creator of Windows, found itself in the crosshairs of frustrated users who initially blamed the tech giant for the outage. Microsoft quickly clarified the situation, stating, "We're aware of an issue affecting Windows devices due to an update from a third-party software platform. We anticipate a resolution is forthcoming." As the hours ticked by, the impact of the outage became increasingly clear. The situation was particularly dire in the healthcare sector. Boston's Mass General Brigham Hospital had to cancel all non-urgent surgeries, procedures, and medical visits for the day. Even democratic processes were affected. In Maricopa County, Arizona, where Phoenix is located, authorities reported issues at some early voting locations for the state's primary elections. The Maricopa County Elections Department released a statement saying, "Due to the global tech outage, Maricopa County Elections is also experiencing an outage at some voting locations." The idea that a cybersecurity update could inadvertently impact the voting process sent shockwaves through the political landscape. As the scale of the problem became apparent, cybersecurity experts weighed in. Kieran Martin, the former chief executive of Britain's National Cybersecurity Center, told the New York Times, "This is a very, very uncomfortable illustration of the fragility of the world's core internet infrastructure." But amidst the chaos, CrowdStrike's engineering teams were in overdrive, trying to identify the root cause and develop a fix. At 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time, about an hour after their initial alert, CrowdStrike announced a breakthrough. They had identified the update causing the issue and had managed to roll it back, but for many affected systems, the damage was already done. Simply rolling back the update wouldn't magically fix all the crashed computers. To address this critical issue, CrowdStrike offered a workaround for affected users. The process involved several steps. First, users needed to boot their Windows system into safe mode or the Windows recovery environment. Once in this restricted mode, they were instructed to navigate to the CrowdStrike directory located at C Windows System32 Drivers CrowdStrike. Within this directory, users had to locate a specific file matching the pattern C-0000029*sys and delete it. After removing this file, the final step was to reboot the host normally. This procedure aimed to remove the problematic update and allow systems to function properly again. As the day wore on, more details emerged about the nature of the problem. Brody, the director of CrowdStrike Overwatch, posted on X, formerly Twitter, that the issue was caused by a faulty channel file, so not quite an update. At 5:45 a.m. Eastern Time, CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz took to X to address the situation. He confirmed that the issue was not a cyber attack, but was indeed caused by a botched update. CrowdStrike is actively working with customers impacted by a defect found in a single content update for Windows hosts. Kurtz wrote, "Mac and Linux hosts are not impacted. This is not a security incident or cyber attack." Kurtz's statement provided some relief. At least this wasn't a coordinated attack. However, it also raised questions about how such a critical error could be made through CrowdStrike's quality assurance processes. As the day progressed, the ripple effects of the outage continued to be felt. The financial impact was starting to become apparent. Stock markets saw increased volatility as traders grappled with the implications of the outage. CrowdStrike's own stock took a hit as investors worried about the potential long-term consequences for the company's reputation. Cybersecurity experts and tech pundits began weighing in. Many pointed out that while the incident was unprecedented in its scale, it highlighted a known vulnerability in our increasingly interconnected world, the potential for cascading failures. Adam Harrison, managing director at FTI Cybersecurity, explained the challenge of resolving the issue. By its nature, the issue will be very hard to resolve once systems are in a reboot loop. Manual fixes are going to take time for systems admins to apply. CrowdStrike can't push a new update remotely to fix. It's going to need manual intervention on each system. As the day wore on, a new concern emerged: the potential security implications of the outage. With so many systems down or operating in safe mode, were we more vulnerable to actual cyber attacks? Ian Thornton Trump, CISO at Cyjax, offered some perspective on CrowdStrike's response. They will certainly do their very best to pull the update and instruct the old agents not to update till they can get it sorted. But he also acknowledged the challenge ahead. What has been done cannot be undone for those blue screen machines. As night fell in different parts of the world, the situation began to slowly improve. Some organizations reported success in implementing CrowdStrike's workaround, while others found alternative solutions. But the process was slow, and for many, the nightmare was far from over. The incident also sparked a flurry of activity in online tech communities. Forums like Reddit were flooded with posts from affected users sharing their experiences and seeking advice. One user wrote, "Wow, stuck in a boot loop, an entire org taken down." The comment section quickly filled with similar stories, painting a picture of the widespread impact. As the dust began to settle, attention turned to the broader implications of the incident. Cybersecurity experts and industry analysts began to dissect what had happened, trying to extract lessons from the chaos. As the week drew to a close, systems around the world were gradually returning to normal. But the effects of the CrowdStrike incident, as it was now being called, would be felt for much longer. Government agencies and regulatory bodies also took notice. In the United States, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency launched an investigation into the incident, aiming to develop new guidelines for critical infrastructure protection. In Europe, the incident reignited debates about digital sovereignty and the need for homegrown cybersecurity solutions. What do you think about this incident? Has it changed how you view cybersecurity? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.